I am so excited about the books that are coming out in 2024. What's up, everybody? It's Tony back with another video, and in today's video I want to talk to you about the 2024 most anticipated thrillers for me anyway. So now that I'm a reader, I keep track of, mainly I just look at Goodreads, I just put it that way. And some people send me information because they know I read books. So anyway, I'm like, I need to get my books ready, or some goals set and all that for 2024. And so I need to know what's up and what's coming out. Of course, since I'm a new reader, I have a whole bunch of older books that I need to read as well, but I wanted to get some of the new ones that are coming out fresh off the press. So again, as usual, I was getting overwhelmed, and this list is actually small. There's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, maybe some people that's not small, but to me it seems kind of small. But these are some books that I can't wait to read that are coming out in 2024, thrillers only. And some of them are by authors I'm familiar with, like Freida McFadden and Riley Sager, the only authors I'm familiar with. And other ones by authors that I've never heard of. So, whatever. I'm really taking a chance on some of them, but we'll see. So, like I said, to me, Goodreads is overwhelming. I guess because I'm a new reader, I'm like, oh my God, I can keep up with all this. I don't read all the reviews. I do look at some of them, but I don't read all the reviews or anything. But I do like to know what's coming out ahead of time, like I said previously. And so here's my little list for right now. I know I'm going to add to it, but here's my list for right now. So the first one is called She's Not Sorry, and it's by Mary Kubica. And I might be, excuse me if I'm butchering these names. This one, the ratings are, let's see, on Goodreads 4.18. And this one is coming out, this one's coming out in April 2024. And it says, an ICU nurse accidentally uncovers a patient's frightening past in this chilling thriller. Megan Michaels is trying to find balance between being a single mom to a teenage daughter and working as a full-time nurse. While on duty at the hospital one day, a patient named Caitlin arrives in a coma with a traumatic brain injury, having jumped from a bridge and plunging over 20 feet to the train tracks below. But when a witness comes forward with shocking details about the fall, it calls everything they know into question. Was Caitlin pushed, and if so, by whom and why? Megan has always tried to stay emotionally detached from her patients, but this time she mistakenly lets herself get too close until she's deeply entangled in Caitlin's and her family's lives. Only when it's too late does she realize that she and her daughter could be the next victims. And then look for these pulse-pounding thrillers by New York Times bestseller author Mary, whatever. That sounds like a movie that I really like. I know I should probably stop comparing these to movies or whatever, but like if I were to read that description, it was for a movie, I would definitely watch the movie. It sounds good. Sounds really good, really interesting. And so I'm going to go ahead and check this out. I've never heard of Mary Kubica before, but she is a New York Times bestselling author of Local Woman Missing. So actually, I didn't read that fine print at first, so I'm going to check that book out as well, and I'm going to put that on the list. So the next book is called Everyone is Watching by Heather Gudenkoff, I think. And those that love thrillers, you guys probably know these authors. I've never heard of them before. And this one is New York Times bestselling author of The Overnight Guest. So again, that's another book that I'm going to check out from Heather. And this one says, the best friend, the confidant, the senator, the boyfriend, the executive. 5 contestants have chosen to compete for $10 million on the game show One Lucky Winner. The catch, none of them knows what or who to expect, and it will be live streamed all over the world. Completely secluded in an estate in Northern California with strict instructions not to leave the property and zero contact with the outside world, the competitors start to feel a little too isolated. When long-kept secrets begin to rise to the surface, the contestants realize this is no longer just a reality show. Someone's out for blood, and the game can't end until the world knows who the contestants really are. Okay, so I love game shows and I also love reality shows, and so this kind of just got my attention. It sounds interesting. I've never seen this theme before, like not even on a movie, I don't think. So this one kind of just caught my attention, and it sounds really good. And I love it when people are secluded somewhere and like one of them is the killer, but you kind of like trying to figure out who it is. So this one sounds like a really good book to read this year. So the next book is called Like Mother, Like Daughter by Kimberly McCreight. And she's the New York Times bestselling author of Reconstructing Amelia. Never heard of that, never heard of this author, so I might check out that book as well. So the description is, when Cleo, a student at New York University, arrives late for dinner, At her childhood home in Brooklyn, she finds food burning in the oven and no sign of her mother, Kat. Then she discovers her mom's bloody shoe under the sofa. Something terrible has happened, but what? The polar opposite of Cleo, who's out of control, emotions, and unsafe behavior have created a seemingly unbridgeable rift between mother and daughter. Kat is the essence of Park Slope, a happily married, successful corporate lawyer, or so Cleo thinks. I'm not, this one kind of confused me a little bit on the description, and I'm not really sure why I put this one on my list. It got really good, like the people who have rated it so far, it got like 4.04. This one probably, I don't know why I put this on my list. Actually, as I'm reading it, I'm like, what? I don't even understand what they're talking about at the end, but I'll put this one on my list, but it'll kind of be at the bottom of the list. I'm not really sure about that, so we'll see. Like mother, like daughter. Yeah. Okay, this one, you guys gonna already know why I got this on my list. Of course, I'm gonna get this book when it first pre-order, whatever I need to do. The Housemaid is Watching by Frida McFadden. I actually didn't know. I was shocked, and I was so excited when I saw this. I didn't know she's gonna make another one. I mean, need I really say more? But let me read what the description is gonna be about. Maybe this one's a little bit different of a theme from the usual Housemaid. So, you must be our new neighbors, Mrs. Lowell gushes and waves across the picket fence. I clutch my daughter's hand and smile, but the second Mrs. Lowell sees my husband, a strange expression crosses her face. In that moment, I make a promise. We finally have a family home. My past is far, far behind us, and I'll do anything to keep it that way. I used to clean other people's houses. Now I can't believe this home is actually mine. The charming kitchen, the quiet cul-de-sac, the huge yard where my kids can play. My husband and I saved for years to give our children the life they deserve. Even though I'm wary of our neighbor, Mrs. Lowell, when she invites us over for dinner, it's our chance to make friends. Her maid opens the door wearing a white apron, her hair in a tight bun. I know exactly what it's like to be in her shoes, but her cold stare gives me chills. The Lowell's maid isn't the only strange thing on our street. I'm sure I see a shadowy figure watching us. My husband leaves the house late at night, and when I meet a woman who lives across the way, her words chill me to be careful of your neighbors. Did I make a terrible mistake moving my family here? I thought I left my darkest secrets behind, but could this quiet suburban street be the most dangerous place of all? Already description is just like giving me, everything. I can't wait for this book to come out. I'm a day one, whenever I get my hands on it, it's going to be mine. And I don't care what book I'm reading, I'm dropping it and picking up this one, and I'm going to read it. I'll probably finish Frida McFadden. I'll probably finish this book. Unless it's just stupid and she just goes off the rock or whatever, I'll probably finish it in a day, max 2 days. This is my first time ever I can't wait for this book to come out, like feeling that kind of way. Like it just makes me excited. And so I just can't wait. This one's coming out June 11th. So yeah, I'll be ready for that definitely. But yeah, I got to get that. The Housemaid is Watching. Okay, so the next one is The New Couple in 5B, New York Times bestselling author of Secluded Cabin Sleep 6. Her name is Lisa Unger. Never heard of her, but I'm new to books and reading. A couple inherits an apartment with a spine-tingling past and its unput-downable thriller from the New York Times bestselling author of Secluded Cabin Sleep 6. Rosie and Chad Lowen are barely making ends meet in New York City when they receive life-changing news. Chad's late uncle has left them his luxury apartment at the historic Windermere in glamorous Murray Hill. With its pre-war elegance and impeccable uniformed doormen, the building is the epitome of old New York charm. One would almost never suspect the dark history lurking behind its perfectly maintained facade. At first, the building and its eclectic, I'm getting so excited, I'm just like tripping over my words. Tenants couldn't feel more welcoming. But as the Lowens settle to their new home, Rosie starts to suspect that there's more to the Windermere than meets the eye. Why is the doorman ever present? Why are there cameras everywhere? And why have so many gruesome crimes occurred there throughout the years? When one of the neighbors turns up dead, Rosie must go to the truth about the Windermere before she, too, falls under its dangerous spell. So I know why I put this on my list. I love books, and that's another reason why I really liked Lock Every Door by Riley Sager. I like books that take place, or just a story, movie, book, whatever, to take place like there's an apartment building or something like that, and there's like secrets and old stories and creepy things and murders and stuff that's happening. That kind of just really gets me excited, really gets me going. So that's why I put this book on my list. This sounds very interesting. I can't wait for this one to come out, which will be March 5th. Looking forward to that. This one actually is already out because it came out on January 2nd, and it's called The Rabbit Hole by Kate Brody. I don't know if she has a lot of books out, and I'm actually, now that I'm kind of looking at this, the rating is like 3.41. I don't always go by other people's ratings, but compared to all the other books I had that were in the 4s, this one is kind of low. So let me see what it says and why I even put this on my list. A twisty debut exploring the dark side of true crime fandom and the blurry lines of female friendship, perfect for fans of Gillian Flynn, My Favorite Murder, and Fleabag. Conspiracy theories from Reddit seduce a disaster-prone woman into an obsession with solving her older sister's cold case disappearance. I'm not going to read this, kind of a long description. Actually, now that I'm looking at it, that's what I just read you is why it's got my interest. I like stories where somebody's trying to solve like a cold case, disappearance and all that kind of stuff. And I like things about conspiracy theories, and so that kind of got my attention. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. Actually, I probably will just buy this from Amazon as soon as I get done making this video, since it's out already. So yeah, I'll definitely get this one in my stash. Okay, the next one is another one by Frida McFadden. I'm excited. Don't get me wrong, I'm excited about this one, but not as much because The Housemaid is The Housemaid. So any kind of book along those lines, I'm super excited for. This one I am excited for. It's called The Teacher. And it says, a mind-bending psychological thriller from the New York Times bestseller and USA Today bestselling author of The Housemaid, of course. Lesson number 1, trust no one. Eve has a good life. She gets up each day, gets a kiss from her husband, Nate, and heads off to teach math at the local high school. All is as it should be, except last year, Kasem High was rocked by a scandal with one student, Addie, at its center. And this year, Eve is dismayed to find the girl in her class. So this person that created this scandal is now in her class. Addie can't be trusted. She lies, she hurts people, she destroys lives. At least that's what everyone says. But nobody knows the real Addie. Nobody knows the secrets that could destroy her. And Addie will do anything to keep it quiet. So from the New York Times bestselling author Frida McFadden comes a story of twisted secrets and long-awaited revenge. I love revenge and twisted secrets, so that gets my interest immediately. And of course, if it's from Frida McFadden, I'm going to read it. I don't care what anybody says about the book. I'm going to read it because it's my goal to eventually read all of her books. So yeah, The Teacher by Frida McFadden. Last, but definitely not least, is a new book by Riley Sager called Middle of the Night. This one got a pretty high rating. I think actually of all the books that I just mentioned, this one has the highest rating, which is 4.44 on Goodreads. And if you watch my previous video, you know that I am a huge fan of Riley Sager's now. Huge fan. So, description: in the latest jaw-dropping thriller from New York Times bestselling author Riley Sager, a man must contend with the long-ago disappearance of his childhood best friend and the dark secrets lurking just beyond the safe confines of his picture-perfect neighborhood. The worst thing to ever happen on Hemlock Circle occurred in Ethan Marsh's backyard. One July night, 10-year-old Ethan and his best friend and neighbor, Billy, fell asleep in a tent set up on a manicured lawn in a quiet, quaint New Jersey cul-de-sac. In the morning, Ethan woke up alone. During the night, someone had sliced the tent open with a knife and taken Billy. He was never seen again. 30 years later, Ethan has reluctantly returned to his childhood home, plagued by bad dreams and insomnia. He begins to notice strange things happening in the middle of the night. Someone seems to be roaming the cul-de-sac at odd hours, and signs of Billy's presence keep appearing in Ethan's backyard. Is someone playing a cruel prank, or has Billy, long thought to be dead, somehow returned to Hemlock Circle? The mysterious occurrences prompt Ethan to investigate what really happened that night, a quest that reunites him with former friends and neighbors and leads him into the woods that surround Hemlock Circle. Woods where Billy claimed monsters roam and where a mysterious institute does clandestine research on a crumbling estate. I don't know what that is, so I'm going to have to look in the dictionary. The closer Ethan gets to the truth, the more he realizes that no place, be it quiet forest or suburban street, is completely safe, and that the past has a way of haunting the present. Well, it's about something strange that happened a long time ago in the neighborhood. Somebody's missing, of course. That's a theme in Riley Sager, and that's a theme in a lot of thrillers or whatever. So the guy is gonna go back and try to figure out what happened. There's creepy things happen. Like, and I mentioned this in another video, but Riley Sager, he has like his stuff. It's thrillers, but like Freedom McFadden is more, I don't know, a psychological thriller, and Riley Sager is just like creepy thrillers. And so you see things and you hear bumps and all that kind of crazy stuff. So I can't wait to get this one. This one comes out June 18th. So looking forward to that. I really got to save my coins for all these books because it seems like a lot of them are coming out around the same time, and they're all in 2024, of course. And it looks like most of them are hardcover. So yeah, I got to really budget for this. But yeah, I'm going to make it happen. But anyway, so yeah, those are my most anticipated so far thriller books of 2024. If you have some more that you heard of that I just don't have, I know like my sister sent me some information for some books coming out by Penguin or whatever, that publishing company or whatever. There were several of those. I'm going to take a look at that in more depth. But if you know of any that are coming out, I want some new stuff. I'm reading all the old stuff. I got that. Well, you can tell me about old stuff too, really. But tell me about some new stuff that's coming out in 2024, some new thrillers. That's the only genre I read, so don't tell me about no romance or young adult. Well, it could be a young, I don't even know if I want a young adult thriller, but no, definitely no romance. No autobiographies and biographies or nothing like that, thrillers. But let me know in the comments if you like this video, thumbs up. If you're not already subscribed, subscribe to my channel. And also click on the notification button so you'll be notified every time I upload a new video. And I will see you in the next one.